Hey, Stoic friends, have you ever stood in the wreckage of rejection, questioning everything about yourself? It hurts, doesn't it? The sting of someone walking away can leave scars, but those scars also hold the story of your resilience. You picked up the pieces, rebuilt your confidence, and walked forward with grace. And just when you began to heal, there they are. Suddenly they resurface. A message appears, a follow request pops up, or maybe you hear their name in a mutual conversation. It's jarring, isn't it? That same person who left you questioning your worth now seems to be inching back into your life. And naturally, the question arises, why now? What changed? This scenario is not as uncommon as it feels. When someone rejects you, they're often acting from a place of uncertainty or misplaced priorities. At the time, they may have believed they were making the best decision for themselves, not necessarily for you. But here's where the twist comes. Absence is a powerful teacher. When you're no longer in their life, the void you leave behind becomes undeniable. Human psychology tells us that people don't always appreciate what they have until it's gone. It's like a song you didn't realize you loved until it stopped playing. Suddenly, the qualities you brought, the warmth, the understanding, the authenticity, stand out in stark contrast to what they're experiencing without you. And this realization can be unsettling for them. Emotionally, they might be grappling with regret, loneliness, or even curiosity. They wonder how you're doing, whether you've moved on, and whether there's still a place for them in your life. For some, it's the fear of missing out on something meaningful. For others, it's a genuine acknowledgement of their mistake. But make no mistake, this isn't about you needing to prove your worth. Your value was never diminished by their rejection. In this video, we'll explore 9 powerful reasons why they return after rejecting you. From the psychological shifts in their mind to the emotional triggers that pull them back, we'll explore the truth behind their unexpected actions. This is your moment to understand their motives and reclaim your narrative with strength and clarity. Let's dive in, friends. You're stronger than you realize, and it's time to uncover the mystery of their return. Number 1. They feel the void of your absence. Rejection may feel like a door slamming shut, but it often leaves something behind, a void. At first, they might believe they've made the right decision, convincing themselves that life would be simpler or better without you. But as the days turn into weeks, the absence starts to feel heavier than they expected. What's missing exactly? It's the small, meaningful things you brought to their life. The way you listened without judgment, offering them a space to be vulnerable. The way you made them laugh, even on their hardest days. Your support, kindness, and understanding weren't just nice to have. They were a foundation for their emotional balance. Without you, life starts to feel emptier. They begin to notice how other conversations lack the depth they once shared with you. They miss how you would remember the small details about them, things no one else ever seemed to notice. Even simple moments, like your smile during a random joke, or the way you reassured them during their bad days, come rushing back. Here's the truth. When you leave, the value of your presence becomes undeniable. People often take for granted what feels constant in their life. But when that constant disappears, it's like losing a light they didn't realize was guiding them. As Marcus Aurelius said, you don't appreciate what you have until you lose it. Psychologically, they start connecting the dots. They realize that what they're missing can't easily be replaced. Maybe they thought they could move on quickly or find someone who would fit better into their life. But emotional connections aren't interchangeable. They're unique, and yours left an imprint on them that others can't fill. This void pulls them back. It's not always about wanting to fix things. It's about their own struggle to cope with what they lost. Their return might come in the form of a sudden message or an awkward attempt to reconnect. But whatever the approach, it's a reflection of what your absence has taught them. Remember this: your worth doesn't depend on their realization. You were valuable all along. If you've ever felt unseen or unappreciated, declare it for yourself today. Write it down and believe it. I am irreplaceable because of who I am. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am irreplaceable. Number 2, nostalgia. Clouds their judgment. Time has a strange way of reshaping memories. The pain of rejection starts to fade, and what's left are the golden moments, the laughter, the warmth, and the connection you once shared. Nostalgia becomes like a filter, softening the edges of reality. When they think of you, they don't recall the arguments or the reasons why things didn't work. Instead, they see the times you stayed up talking for hours, the way you supported them without hesitation, and the little things you did to make them feel special. Nostalgia pulls them into a world where you're perfect in their memory, a version of you they now long for. This isn't unusual. As humans, we tend to romanticize the past, especially when we feel lonely or unfulfilled. They might be facing challenges or disappointments in their life now, and those memories of you bring comfort. It's not just about missing you, it's about missing the way you made them feel. As Maya Angelou wisely said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." But here's the catch: nostalgia isn't always honest. It's selective, highlighting the good while conveniently brushing aside the bad. Maybe the rejection happened for valid reasons, differences in values, priorities, or emotional needs. And while they may come back to you because of these warm, glowing memories, it doesn't necessarily mean they've changed or that the relationship will be different this time. Think about this carefully. Are they drawn to the real you, or are they chasing a memory? Nostalgia can be powerful, but it can also be misleading. If someone returns to your life, make sure they're coming back with clarity and genuine intent, not just because they're lost in an idealized version of the past. Let this be your reminder. You deserve to be valued for who you are now, not just for the memories someone holds. Nostalgia is a reflection of your impact, but your worth is far greater than any memory. Drop this affirmation in the comments to claim your self-worth. I am worthy of genuine connections. Believe in yourself and the love you truly deserve. Number 3, their new pursuit didn't work out. When someone rejects you, it's often because they believe they're heading towards something better, a relationship, a dream, or even a new lifestyle. But what they don't realize is that the grass is greener mentality can lead to disappointment. Sometimes the new person they were drawn to doesn't bring the same warmth or understanding, or the dream they chased feels empty compared to the care and stability you offered. Imagine this: they step into a new situation full of hope, only to find it's not what they expected. That relationship might lack the emotional connection you shared. That dream might not give them the satisfaction they thought it would. And when things fall apart, they start to look back at you, the one who gave them comfort, support, and a sense of belonging. But their return isn't necessarily about love or a deep realization. Often it's driven by their dissatisfaction with what they thought would fulfill them. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Their discontent is a result of chasing external things instead of appreciating what truly matters. You need to see their actions for what they are. Are they coming back because they've learned your true value? Or are they just seeking comfort after something else didn't work out? This is your chance to reflect on your worth and decide if their return aligns with your happiness. Remember, you're not a backup plan or a safety net. You're someone who deserves to be chosen wholeheartedly, not as an afterthought. If they didn't appreciate you before, make sure their return is about genuine growth, not convenience. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am not a second choice. To claim your power and remind yourself that you deserve to be someone's priority, not their fallback. Keep growing and valuing yourself. You're worth it. Number 4, they've grown and realized their mistake. Not all rejections are final, and not all returns come from selfishness. Sometimes walking away from someone gives them the space they need to reflect and grow. In your absence, they might have seen their mistakes clearly for the first time. They realize how they took you for granted or failed to treat you with the respect you deserved. Growth often comes from pain and self-reflection. Perhaps your absence made them face their fears, insecurities, or patterns of behavior that caused the rejection. It's possible they've worked on themselves, gaining maturity and a deeper understanding of what they lost. Instead of blaming others or running from the truth, they've taken accountability. And that's why they're coming back, not to fill a void, but to show you they've changed. Imagine this. They replay the moments when they could have done better. They remember the way you supported them, even when they didn't appreciate it. This time their heart isn't full of excuses. It's full of genuine regret. As Maya Angelou wisely said, when you know better, do better. Their return could mean they've learned from their mistakes and are ready to do better. But here's the truth. You don't owe them a second chance. Growth is important, but so is your happiness and well-being. Their apology might be sincere, but it's up to you to decide if their actions align with your life's direction. Look for signs of real change. Are they taking responsibility, or are they just saying what they think you want to hear? Growth should be visible in their words and actions. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose what serves me, to remind yourself that your peace matters. Whether you accept them back or not, prioritize what feels right for you. You deserve relationships built on respect, accountability, and mutual growth. Number 5, they see you thriving without them. Rejection is painful, but it often becomes the spark that ignites your growth. Maybe when they walked away, you made a choice, not to stay stuck in sadness, but to rise above it. You began working on yourself, focusing on your goals, and rebuilding your confidence. And now, you're thriving in ways they never expected. They might notice your achievements. Perhaps you've advanced in your career, improved your health, or simply found peace and happiness. This growth challenges their perception of you. The person they rejected is no longer the same. You've evolved into someone stronger, more self-assured, and radiant with purpose. Imagine their surprise when they see you shining. It forces them to reflect on what they let go of. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Your success isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were always capable. But let's be clear, their return isn't necessarily about celebrating your growth. Sometimes it's about their own regret. Your thriving presence reminds them of what they lost, the kindness, love, and potential they once dismissed. And now they want to be part of the life you've built. The question is, do they deserve that place? Remember, your journey is yours alone. You don't need anyone's validation to feel accomplished or proud of how far you've come. If they're returning, consider their intentions carefully. Are they genuinely supportive, or are they coming back because they're envious of your success? Celebrate your progress and let your boundaries protect it. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I thrive for me, because your growth is for you, not to impress or satisfy anyone else. Keep shining and never let the opinions or actions of others define your worth. You are your own masterpiece. Number 6. Loneliness pushes them back. Loneliness has a way of creeping in, especially after a decision as final as rejection. At first, they might have felt confident in their choice, thinking life without you would be better or simpler, but over time the silence grows louder. The absence of your warmth, understanding and presence begins to weigh on them. They start to realize that the connections they counted on to replace yours aren't the same. Casual friendships or new relationships might lack the depth you provided. They find themselves longing for the emotional safety and support you once gave so freely. It's not just about companionship, it's about the bond they once underestimated. But loneliness is a tricky motivator. Sometimes it's not about regret or love, it's about filling the emptiness they feel. As Maya Angelou wisely said, a friend may be waiting behind a stranger's face. In this case, they might be hoping to find that friend again in you. However, you need to be cautious. Loneliness can drive people to make impulsive choices. They might reach out, not because they've truly changed or grown, but because they're looking for temporary comfort. And if that's the case, it's not fair to you. Ask yourself, are their intentions genuine? Do they see your worth now, or are they simply seeking to soothe their solitude? You have the right to protect your peace and happiness. Allowing someone back into your life is a choice that should come from mutual respect and shared growth, not from their momentary need. If you've experienced this, drop this affirmation in the comments. I value my peace. Your life is too precious to let anyone disrupt it with fleeting intentions. Embrace the people who genuinely care for you and leave space only for those who honor your worth. You deserve connections that are built on love, trust, and authenticity, not just the fear of being alone. Number 7. They struggle with guilt. Rejection isn't always as simple as walking away. For the person who left, the memory of how they treated you can linger like a heavy weight. Guilt becomes their shadow, following them even when they try to move on. They replay the moments when they could have been kinder, more patient, or less harsh. The realization of the hurt they caused you starts to eat away at their peace. As time goes on, this guilt often grows louder. They see reminders of you in their daily life, and those reminders bring flashes of regret. They remember your kindness, the times you gave more than they deserved. And now, in your absence, they're left grappling with the weight of their choices. Their return might be an attempt to make things right. But sometimes it's less about you and more about easing their own emotional burden. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. In this case, the revenge is not holding on to bitterness, but choosing to see their return for what it truly is. Distinguishing between genuine remorse and selfish guilt is crucial. If they come back to apologize and take accountability, that's a step toward healing for both of you. However, if their return feels like a way to quiet their conscience without considering your feelings, then it's not about you, it's about them. You don't owe anyone forgiveness or a second chance unless it feels right to you. Your emotional well-being should always come first. Guilt might bring them back, but your strength and clarity will determine whether they stay. If this resonates with you, drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose my peace. Let it serve as a reminder that your peace and happiness are not tools to relieve someone else's guilt. You deserve relationships built on respect, care, and genuine intentions, not on someone trying to escape their own conscience. Number 8, they realize the depth of your connection. In life, we often don't value what we have until it's gone. This is especially true for deep connections, those rare bonds where you feel seen, understood, and truly cared for. After rejecting you, they may have sought similar relationships elsewhere, only to realize how rare your connection was. Superficial relationships might seem exciting at first, but they lack substance. Over time, they start to notice the emptiness in conversations that don't go beyond surface-level topics, the absence of emotional support they once took for granted, and the lack of someone who genuinely cared about their well-being. When they reflect on their time with you, they may remember how you stood by them, listened without judgment, and offered a safe space to be vulnerable. It's not easy to find such depth in a world filled with distractions and fleeting interactions. As Maya Angelou wisely said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Realizing this, they might return to rekindle what they lost. However, it's essential to consider their intentions. Are they coming back because they truly value the connection and want to nurture it this time? Or is it just nostalgia for something they miss but aren't ready to commit to fully? Your role isn't to make them feel comfortable again. It's to protect your emotional health and ensure their return aligns with your needs and boundaries. You've grown in their absence, and your well-being should always come first. If their return feels genuine and rooted in mutual respect, it's worth exploring. But if it feels like they're seeking comfort without accountability, it's okay to keep your distance. Deep connections are a gift, but they should be a two-way street. If you've ever felt this way, drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect my peace. Let it remind you that while deep connections are special, your peace and self-worth come first. Always. Number 9, they fear losing you forever. It's a sad truth, but sometimes people only realize the value of what they had once they see it slipping away. When they rejected you, they may have believed that you would always be there, waiting for them. But as time goes on and they see you moving forward, something inside them shifts. The fear of losing you forever grows stronger, and they begin to panic. This fear can drive them to reach out, hoping they can fix things before it's too late. It's a desperate attempt to reclaim what they thought they could take for granted. They may see your life moving on, your growth, and the people who now surround you, and suddenly their own sense of loss becomes overwhelming. But here's the question you need to ask yourself. Do you want to be with someone who only recognizes your worth when they fear losing it? Their fear is not your responsibility to manage. It's their problem, not yours. This fear-based return often comes from a place of insecurity or regret, not genuine love or respect. While it's human to want to reconnect with someone you once cared about, it's essential to recognize that someone should value you, not because they fear losing you, but because they truly appreciate you and your presence in their life. You are not a safety net for their emotional instability. Your worth is not defined by their fear of absence. Don't let someone's panic dictate the terms of your relationship. You deserve a connection built on trust, mutual respect, and genuine appreciation, not a relationship driven by someone else's fear of being alone. Take a moment to reflect. Is their return rooted in a genuine desire for growth and a lasting bond? Or is it just fear of losing what they never valued properly? Only you can decide what's best for your heart. Rejection doesn't define your worth, and their return doesn't necessarily mean they've changed. You've grown through their absence, and it's up to you to decide if they deserve a place in your life again. Let me know in the comments if this resonates with you. Stay strong and always prioritize your peace. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights like this. See you next time.